Wild Rosters, welcome back to the Davinsky Twist. Glad to see you joining me today in this vid. Today we finna be reacting to 3 true April Fool's horror stories. Animated. Y'all know how we get, man. The animated ones, they be kind of interesting to watch and shit. So we got some animated horror stories for y'all today. So if you're new to this channel, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Be sure to turn on all the post notifications. Make sure you got your blunt spark. Let's go ahead and hop into story 1 though. Shit.
It was April 1st, and we had the perfect prank planned.
Really?
We weren't kids anymore. But April Fools still had that charm. Me and Ryan had been pulling pranks since we were 10. This year, we wanted to step it up. Ryan had the idea. He always did. He bought a cheap pig mask, like the one from Saw. The plan was simple. I'd wear the mask, pop out from behind bushes, and scare people while Ryan filmed from a hidden spot. We'd get some reactions, post it online, and get a few laughs.
So these niggas was YouTubers on some shit. Him and his buddy Ryan, they out here pranking people on April Fools and then uploading the clip on some shit. They was goddamn doing pranks.
The park was quiet. Almost too quiet. Most people were either working or at home. We saw a few joggers, a couple sitting on a bench, and one old man walking alone.
Damn, that nigga ugly as shit. I could see him from far away. That nigga ugly as shit, man. Look at his nose. I could see, that's the biggest shit I could see from all them fucking pixels from back there. That's all I could see right now. I could see that nose, but in them eyes, them shit's about popped out to the
He was our
motherfucker.
target. We hid near a cluster of trees. I crouched behind a bush, adjusting the mask. Ryan was a few feet away, his phone ready to capture everything.
Okay, Ryan, the cameraman. Cameraman never died.
Closer.
Damn, hold on. Look at that nigga nose. Hold on.
I jumped out at the perfect moment, letting out a guttural growl, hoping to...
Look at that nigga nose, and he didn't even get scared from the mask. Boy, you like this tall to him. You like right here. You think you scaring him with a little pig mask? You gonna have to get on all fours to try to scare somebody like that. Like, bro looked like he just smoked him something. Lips chapped as fuck, nose humongous. I don't even know. Twin is looking like Bill Cosby in this motherfucker. Like a white Bill Cosby. It's just crazy, bro. That's wicked.
Scared the life out of him. He didn't flinch. He just stood there staring at me, his lips curling into a wide, unnatural grin. His eyes empty.
Look
yet
at his
focused,
look at his
locked onto mine.
teeth.
I felt something cold crawl down my spine. This wasn't the reaction I expected. I stepped back instinctively, feeling a strange pressure in my chest. That smile didn't break. He didn't speak. He didn't scream. He just started walking towards me.
Oh nah.
I wasn't afraid.
This
at
where you
first.
book it.
It was just an old man, but something about him made me uneasy. I took another step back. He matched it with a step forward. My breathing.
This may be the
Come
last
on,
ad you
how
see.
you-
With Pi
what?
Adblock, visit your favorite
How
websites.
we gonna get an ad
and watch
mid-action?
grew shallow. Then suddenly, he stopped following me. Instead, he turned sharply and walked towards the bushes. Towards Ryan.
What?
Ryan had
Oh.
always been the braver one. He thought it was just some weird old guy playing
Oh,
along.
look at, bro. You're telling me y'all have yet to book it? Bro, stop focusing on you. You should have been running up to him like give him a good old elbow to the back of the head or something, because he coming after your twin now. Like,
With our prank. Hey man, relax. It's just a joke. The man didn't slow down. Ryan puffed out his chest, trying to act tough. You're not scaring anyone, dude. Just go home. The man reached into his coat and pulled out a wooden club.
Oh,
The kind
shoot.
you'd see in a medieval movie. Ryan barely had time to react before the first hit landed. The sound...
See, this what I'm saying, bro. Your man's just got caught lacking because you ain't had a right. You ain't feel something was off. You felt something was off. You started taking step backs. But like, bro, come on now. You just seen your mans
Made
get
was
whacked.
like a heavy sack of meat hitting pavement. Ryan dropped his phone. His body crumpled, but he wasn't out yet. He tried to crawl, but the man
Nah,
brought the
that's
club
scary.
down again
Oh.
and again. I watched frozen. My mind refused to accept what I was seeing.
Oh, man, look at your face. All you could do is watch, bro. Nah, bro. You just watch that man's get beat up by some old man. What's going on?
I wanted to move, to scream, to help, but my body wouldn't listen. Man, I was
Look at the way
freaking out.
he's...
This was no prank going sideways. It was raw, brutal reality. I kept thinking,
Yo, he's
what
just
the
hitting
hell
him
is
back
happening?
to back.
Then the old man turned
Yo,
his head
they-
slowly. That grin still stretched across his face. And then, for the first time, he moved fast.
What? You better start running. Look at the way he just turned around,
The
just...
old man turned his head slowly. That grin still stretched across his face. And then, for the first time, he moved fast.
Yeah,
The
nah,
sudden burst
bro.
of speed made my heart slam into my chest.
You better
I couldn't
run.
believe that this old guy who had been standing there with that insane smile could
Look at him
actually
walking.
be
Look
that
at the
quick.
shoulders. Look at the
I
shoulders.
The park was suddenly too big. The pathways too long. My legs burned, but I didn't dare slow down.
Yo, look at him running after him, bro.
I could hear him behind me. He wasn't sprinting, but he was keeping up all the same.
How is he
I cut
not
through the
sprinting
trees,
but keep
jumped over
keeping up?
benches and pushed past anyone in my way. My apartment wasn't far. If I could just make it there and lock the door, I'd be safe. But man, every step felt like a huge mistake.
What
I risked a
happened?
glance back. He was still there. moving
Nah,
in a
you're
weird, almost
goofy.
robotic way. The flickering streetlights made the scene.
Nah, I'd be scared as hell, bro. Cause you don't never look back, bro. If you're running, bro, I be doing that shit in video games when I'm running, bro. I don't never look back,
More
bro.
surreal.
That should be
My building
scary,
loomed
bro.
ahead, and I sprinted inside, slammed the door shut, and bolted up the stairs. I couldn't believe this was happening. It felt like a messed up reality show with no punchline. I slammed my hand against the door, wishing it would hold him off. Deep down, I knew it wouldn't last. The whole thing was spiraling out of control, and every creak in the building made my skin crawl. I dared to look down the stairwell. He was standing there, standing at the bottom, looking up at me, smiling. That sight hit me like a ton of bricks. I froze, my mind racing with pure panic. I barely
Bro
made it inside
followed
my
you
apartment
all the
before he
way.
reached the door. The pounding started immediately. It was measured, calculated. He wasn't trying to break in. He was making sure I knew he was there. Neighbors began coming out, yelling and asking what was going on. Someone even called the cops, but the man didn't care. He just kept knocking harder, faster. I backed away, my chest heaving. My phone was dead. My own
Hold on.
connection to Ryan was gone. Inside the apartment, everything felt off. I could hear my own ragged breathing echoing in the empty hallways. My mind was
Bro,
racing,
you
trying
don't
to
have a
figure out
charger
what
in
to
there,
do next,
bro?
but all I could think about was Ryan and that brutal violence I'd just witnessed. I paced around, checking every door and window, expecting him to burst in at any moment. The silence after the knocking stopped was almost worse than the noise, like a loaded gun waiting to go off. I felt trapped, like the walls were closing in, every second stretched out, filled with dread and uncertainty. I even tried calling someone, but my phone was useless.
Bro, he literally said his phone was dead. Why you mean you ain't got a charger in that apartment? Like, come on, bro. Oh hell nah, bro. What the fuck is that, bro? I don't even know, twin. It's an old man, bro. This shit's crazy.
Leaving me alone with my terror. I pressed myself against the wall, aware of every creak and whisper in the building. The tension was unbearable. Every little sound made me jump, and my heart felt like it was stuck in my throat. This wasn't just a prank gone wrong. It was a nightmare I couldn't wake up from. The fear was so thick, you could cut it with a knife. And I just sat there paralyzed, waiting for the next awful moment. The police arrived a few minutes later.
Finally,
They
man.
found Ryan in the park just lying there.
No.
He was dead before I even ran. They checked the security footage. The cameras showed everything. Our prank, the old man watching us from the darkness before we even noticed him.
What?
Before we even picked him as our target. He had been there the whole time.
He planned it out.
One of the officers took me to the station, asking me the same questions over and over again. I told them everything. How he chose him randomly, how he didn't react, how he killed Ryan like it meant nothing. They searched the city. No one matching his description was found. I didn't sleep that night. I didn't sleep
wouldn't
for
either.
days. The police never found him.
He knows
no
where you
fingerprints,
at,
no
bro.
ID, nothing. He just disappeared. Ryan's funeral was quiet. His family was devastated. I couldn't bring myself to say anything. What could I even say? I moved out of my apartment. I stopped going outside at night. Every time I hear
As
footsteps
long as he
behind
moved
me, I
out, bro.
freeze. Every time I see a stranger
Yeah.
smiling for no reason, my heart stops and I just want to cry.
Damn. That shit must hurt.
Hey guys.
Story 2. Let's do it.
It was supposed to be a fun night. Rachel had invited us to her family's cabin in the countryside for the weekend.
Okay, Rachel.
No parents, no responsibilities. Just drinks, music, and laughter. The drive there felt long, but the view
Look at
was
that
worth
little
it.
shit. Look at that little
Endless
car.
fields.
I told
The
you, bro.
sky-
What I tell you about the white line, bro? I told you about
Full
the
of
white line.
stars and nothing but silence. We were 5 in total. Rachel, me, Lucas, Kevin, and Ava. The cabin was old, but cozy, surrounded by thick woods. Inside, we set up our things and started drinking. The plan was simple. Have fun, tell stupid stories, and enjoy the night. But something changed when Rachel went outside to get firewood.
Dang.
She didn't come back.
Why
At
would
first, we
Rachel go
joked about it.
outside?
Maybe she was messing with us, trying to...
Nah, bro. Why Rachel go outside? Why ain't one of them two niggas go outside, bro? Come on, now bro got a whole bubble coat on inside. He was prepared to go outside.
scare us. But after 20 minutes, it didn't feel like a joke anymore. Kevin grabbed a flashlight and we all decided to go find her.
Okay, Kev.
The night was colder than before. We walked toward the trees, calling Rachel's name, but there was no response. The deeper we went, the more unsettled I felt. Then we saw it. A body,
Nah.
face down on the ground.
Rachel?
We ran toward it, but before we could get close, a man stepped out of the darkness. He was tall, wearing a dirty jacket and a featureless white mask.
This nigga look like Michael Myers almost. Am I geeking? Yo, his, like, nah, bro.
Gripping something in his right hand. Kevin acted fast, picking up a rock and throwing it.
Okay,
The man
Kev.
barely moved.
Oh.
Instead, he swung his arm, and the sound of metal cracking against bone echoed in the air. Kevin collapsed instantly.
Yo.
The
No,
rock
that
and throwing
shit.
it.
No, that shit did
The man
not just
barely
rock
moved.
Kevin like that.
Instead, he swung his arm, and the sound
Look at Kevin. He did not have
of
to
metal
do Kevin
cracking
like
against
that.
bone echoed in the air. Kevin collapsed instantly. Blood pooled beneath him. Lucas grabbed my wrist and yelled for us to run. We sprinted back toward the cabin, but the man didn't chase us. He just stood there, watching. Inside the cabin,
What?
Ava locked the door while Lucas grabbed the keys to the car.
Y'all
We
better
bolted
dip.
outside, dragging Kevin's barely conscious body with us. He was
y'all got
groaning,
Kevin?
his
That's
head
what's up.
bleeding. Lucas jumped in the driver's seat and turned the key. Nothing. He tried again.
Fuck.
The car didn't even make a sound. The wires had been cut.
Yo.
Ava
This was a setup.
started crying, but I forced her to move. We couldn't stay. The man could be watching us right now. The only option we had was to run. But Kevin couldn't walk, let alone run.
Damn.
Lucas and I looked at each other. We knew what had to be done.
They
Even
had
if
to.
we hated it. We left him. The guilt was unbearable.
You don't leave Kevin behind, bro. You don't leave Kevin behind. Kevin has the bubble coat. Kevin had the flashlight. Y'all don't leave no man behind. That's wicked.
But survival came first. We ran back into the woods, our breaths sharp and ragged. The trees loomed over us, casting moving shadows under the moonlight. Every rustling leaf felt like a threat. Every crack of a branch a warning.
Yeah.
Somewhere behind us, a scream tore through the silence. It was Kevin.
No.
Then, it stopped. Just like that. We didn't dare to look back. Lucas pulled me forward as my legs started to slow. I wanted to stop,
Y'all
to
are in the
collapse,
forest.
but the look in his eyes kept me moving. We had to make it. We had to. Running through the woods at night was a nightmare.
It's
Every
daytime
snapped
already?
branch made us think he was right behind us. Ava kept looking back, whispering Rachel's name over and over. We had no idea where we were going, but anywhere was better than that cabin.
No, for real.
Then we heard something.
Isn't this
Not
Rachel's
footsteps.
cabin?
Something heavier, more erratic.
Like a
We heard
vehicle?
breathing.
Breathing.
I turned my head just for a second. And that's when I saw her. Rachel. She wasn't dead anymore.
What?
But she wasn't Rachel either. She moved like an animal. Her clothes completely different. She wore a
What?
loose jacket and heavy boots. Nothing like the outfit she had on earlier.
Yo, Rachel turned into
What
a
if-
demon, bro.
What if the corpse wasn't hers? She charged at Lucas first. He tried to fight back, but she knew exactly where to hit him. One strike to his ribs and he was down, gasping for air. She grabbed a knife from her belt and pressed it against his throat. I ran.
Damn, Rachel.
I tripped over a fallen log, landing hard on my hands. The impact sent a shock through my arms, but I scrambled to my feet before she could reach me. Ava
Hell
screamed
yeah,
somewhere
survival
behind me,
instinct.
but I couldn't stop. The woods stretched endlessly. My lungs burned, my legs ached, but Rachel's footsteps were right behind me.
Nah.
There was no escape.
She's
Just the
hawking you
endless
down in
dark
them cowgirl boots. Peep it, though. She's really hawking you down in them steppums.
Behind me. There was no escape. Just the endless dark swallowing me whole. I didn't stop until I was deep in the forest, hidden in the trees. My chest was burning. My hands shaking.
Damn.
I needed to breathe, to think.
For real. Damn.
Rachel had done this.
No.
But why? Then
She's
it
right
hit
there.
me. Last year. The prank. It had been stupid. We never thought it would actually hurt anyone.
What
Rachel's
prank?
brother Danny had been seeing this girl and we tricked him into thinking she was cheating on him. It was just a joke. But after that night, she broke up with him. Danny started acting weird, quiet, depressed. 6 months later, he killed himself. And Rachel blamed us. You think you can just forget? Rachel's voice was hoarse, breathless.
Whoa.
You laughed while he fell apart. You called it a joke. Happy April Fools. Am I right? She stepped closer, her knife reflecting the dim moonlight. I could see the rage in her eyes, the months of planning, of hatred building up. I trained for this. Every punch, every kick, every cut. It was for him. And now you're going to feel what he felt. The branches scratched my arms as I pushed forward. I could hear her behind me, moving
That's
fast.
reasonable, though.
My body was screaming for me to stop, but I couldn't. I wouldn't.
Look how
Then
she
she
running.
screamed a horrible, pained sound. I looked back and saw her on the ground, her leg twisted at an unnatural angle. She had fallen into a ditch, her body half buried under leaves and dirt. She reached for me,
Yeah.
her voice desperate.
Who was that? That was...
Help me!
Nah.
I stared at her, breathing hard.
Nah, I don't know.
This game, you're not.
I thought about Danny, about Kevin, about Lucas and Ava. Then, I turned around and walked away. Are you going to leave me here to rot? Like
That's
you guys did with
wicked.
my brother? That's it. Just go. You're not the good guys that you think you are. I was just giving you what you deserve.
Not true. Facts though.
I don't know how long I walked before I found the road. A truck driver stopped when he saw me, and I called the police. I told them everything. Almost everything. I didn't
Almost
tell them
everything
that
is
Rachel was still
crazy.
alive. A search team was sent out, and a week later, they found her body. She hadn't made it through the night. The report said she likely died from blood loss. The others were dead too. Kevin,
Damn.
Lucas, Ava.
That's
No survivors.
fucked up.
I should feel guilty. Maybe I do. But part of me knows that even if I had helped her, it wouldn't have changed anything. Maybe she was going to kill me too. Rachel made her choice. And so did I.
Damn. That was kind of wicked. Rachel really had to go get her revenge. That was on some other shit, like story 3. Let's hop right into it.
It had been months since we last saw Ben. We used to hang out all the time, but after his brother died, he just disappeared. No messages, no calls, nothing.
Why do you use that
He
sound
ignored
effect?
everyone. Then, out of nowhere, he texted me. Come over, bring the guys. Just like that. No explanation, no small talk, just an order. We were surprised, of course, but also excited. Maybe he was finally feeling better. Maybe he wanted to move on. So we grabbed some beers, some snacks, and drove up to his place. Ben's house was the same, but
He's steady
felt
driving on the white line.
different. The lights were off. The yard was overgrown. It looked abandoned.
What?
But he was home. He opened the door and let us in without a word. The silence was unbearable. Ben barely spoke. He looked tired, thinner, like he hadn't slept in weeks. We tried to make conversation, but he just nodded, barely reacting to anything we said. Tyler whispered the idea to me. A harmless prank. Something to lighten the mood. Something to make him laugh again. It was April Fool's anyways. He would understand.
What did they think of?
Right? We decided to recreate an old joke from high school. The fake ghost. One of us would disappear, pretend to be taken by a spirit, and then jump out at him. Classic. I volunteered. I snuck out of the room while the others distracted him, found a spot in the dark hallway, and waited. The plan was simple. Make some creepy noises, knock over something, then jump out. Easy. But before I could do anything, I heard Ben talking to himself. His voice was low, whispering. I couldn't make out what he was saying, but his tone was strange. I peeked around the corner. He was sitting on the floor, staring at the ceiling, his mouth moving rapidly. His hands trembled. Then he stopped. His head snapped toward the hallway. Toward me. I held my breath. Ben stood up, slow and stiff like a puppet being pulled by strings. He walked toward the hallway, his steps uneven, his breathing was loud and ragged. I stepped back, deeper into the dark. He stopped right at the entrance, looking into the shadows. You think it's funny? My heart pounded. Ben grinned, a wide, unnatural grin. Something was off.
What's
This
going
wasn't
on with
just
Ben,
grief.
bro?
It was something else. His eyes darted around as if he was listening to someone whispering in his ear. He took another step forward, shoulders twitching. I've called you after all this time, and the best idea that crossed your mind was pulling a ghost prank on me after all I've been through? My legs refused to move. Ben wasn't just playing along. He believed something was there, and whatever it was, it had told him about me. I didn't know what to do. This wasn't part of the plan. Ben wasn't reacting the way we expected. He wasn't laughing. I tried to step out of the darkness to tell him it was just a joke, but before I could speak, he grabbed my arm. Hard. His grip was too strong.
What?
His nails dug into my skin. I pulled away and stumbled back. Ben's expression twisted. His eyes were wide, unfocused. He looked past me as if seeing something in the empty hallway. Then he screamed, a deep, guttural sound. Tyler and the others ran in. Ben grabbed the
He
bottle
just
from
now
the table and smashed
running
it
in and
against the
seeing.
wall. Glass shattered everywhere. You want to play games? You want to do pranks? It's April Fool's, so it's okay. Let's play.
Hold on, the friends are just now hearing all this go down. Like, what happened? I thought they were supposed to all jump out and scare him, but like, what? But he
His
already
breathing
knows about
was
the prank.
erratic. He grabbed his own head, pulling at his hair. Tyler took a step forward, hands raised. Ben, it's just us. We tried to lighten the mood, that's all. I'm sorry if it was inappropriate. Ben let out a broken laugh. But isn't this just what I needed? Thank you, guys. Suddenly, he charged at us. Tyler tried to stop him, but Ben swung the broken bottle at his face. He barely dodged it. The glass cut into his shoulder. We ran.
Dang.
We didn't want to fight. He was outnumbered, but he was our friend. And also, we didn't know what he was capable of. We didn't know what he was capable of.
Nah, that's
Ben
not
chased
your
us,
friend.
laughing, growling.
That's
He was
not Ben,
fast,
bro.
Too
That-
fast. He grabbed Jake and slammed his head against the wall.
No.
We pulled Jake away and locked ourselves in a room. The door shook. Ben pounded.
They gotta
against
get
it,
out.
Screaming, cursing, laughing. You shouldn't have done that. I just wanted to talk. Jake groaned on the floor. His forehead was bleeding. Tyler pressed his jacket against the wound. We need to get out of here. I looked around. One window. Too high to jump. No weapons. No phone signal. Ben stopped banging. Silence. Then the lock clicked. A scraping sound came from the other side of the door like nails dragging across wood. You can't leave now. You pulled the trigger on this. We grabbed the nearest object, ready to fight back. The door creaked open slowly, revealing the dim hallway. We didn't wait. We rushed at the door, shoving against it with everything we had. It burst open, knocking Ben back. He fell, hitting his head on the floor. We ran past him,
Dang.
sprinting for the front door.
Okay.
Ben groaned behind us. Then he started laughing again. We didn't look back. We reached the door and yanked it open, but Ben grabbed my leg and I fell. Tyler and Jake turned back, grabbing me. Ben's fingers dug into my
No.
ankle, his nails piercing skin. It's April Fool's, guys. Can't stand a joke. I kicked him and he let go, and we ran. We didn't stop running until we reached the car. Tyler fumbled with the keys, his hands shaking. Suddenly, the engine roared to life, and we sped off. I looked
Nice.
back. Ben stood in the doorway, watching us.
How's
Smiling.
well, how does he that bro?
We
That's
told
not
the
your
police.
friend
They
Ben.
found him
Bro.
in the house alone. He didn't resist being arrested. He just smiled at them. They brought this on themselves. I just wanted to talk.
Yo, and then he sounds crazy,
After
bro.
that, Ben was sent to a psychiatric hospital. I wanted to visit him after that, but he would ignore me. His gaze was lost that day,
Nah.
and it was our fault.
But yeah, y'all, that was 3 true April Fool animated horror stories. If you're new to the channel, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. But yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for this video. So I'm gonna see y'all in the next video. Hell yeah, there we go. That was